I have always wanted to. I've always wanted to. What is it that you have always wanted to do? Hey, it's Christine, your emotion coach. And today's topic couldn't have come at a better time. Well, maybe it could have. I've already had a little mini meltdown this morning over it's so interesting how times approach, and I made a big investment in myself and my business about almost a year ago. And I'm kind of feeling a bit down of not seeing the kind of results that I really wanted to, and then getting down on myself of like, did I just not put enough effort into it? Did I not put enough directed effort into it? Have you been trying to pursue something that you've really been wanting to do, that you've really dreamed of doing for a long time, and then you actually get into it and you take the action and you do it, and then nothing, and then it doesn't come the way that you want to, and then negative feedback? How do you keep going? I feel like so much of the last few years we're always like me tiptoeing kind of to that edge going, I know I've been like stretching myself, I've been getting outside my comfort zone, and that for a highly sensitive means a lot, right? We do not want to be outside of our comfort zone, out of the known, out of what's controllable by us, out of, at least not me. I'm not a high sensation seeking, highly sensitive, definitely not. I like my routines, I like my stability, I like my safety, I like my coziness, but I do adventure out here and there and experience some things. But I was getting really down on myself of like, God, what am I doing wrong, right? And it's so interesting, things always snowball. It's so easy for me. It's always so easy to see law of attraction working when it's kind of in a negative spiral. So easy to see, right? Because I was already kind of feeling down about my finances. I was already feeling down about my business. And then, somebody from my family WhatsApps me, and I'm like, oh man, all these feelings come up, all this history, everything that we've been trying to like mend together. And I'm just like, oh man, I just feel like like I don't have my life together. Do you ever feel that way? Like you just don't like where you are in your life right now, and you've even putting some effort in it, you've even been trying so hard, and you're just like, man, how do I keep missing that mark? How do I feel like everybody around me, right? Here's that comparison. Everybody around me seems to have it together. Everybody else around me seems to be growing up, making these adult decisions, doing these adult things, having that life. And it just keeps on slipping through my fingers. What is up with that? And I was just feeling okay about it because, oh my goodness, I love books. That's when I'm so excited that we create and we share, right? When I read a book, and this was like a romance novel, and I was reading and I could just so empathize with the main character. I was like, oh, that's me. Oh my gosh, that's me. And I was just like, look at that. She gets it together at the end of the book. Things turn around for her. It's just so funny when you have these moments where you kind of feel like everything's spinning out of control, right? As highly sensitives, oftentimes we kind of succumb to black and white feeling. When one thing is just slightly off kilter, we're like so concentrating on that wobble that we emphasize that wobble, and then it wobbles a whole lot more, and then everything around it starts to wobble. I notice that so much. My head goes so quickly to like the next key area of my life, and the next key area of my life, like, well, this isn't right either. Well, I'm failing here too, right? This is always the negative talk in my mind is, oh, I'm failing here too. Oh, I'm failing here too. I had to catch myself this morning being like, wow, Christine, not very helpful. Where is that friend of mine that I have been, right? Becoming my own best friend, watching the way that I'm talking to myself, letting that little negativity give voice, but then say, hey, you're not the only one at this table. There are other parts of me that know that I have gotten a lot of my stuff together, that I have, gosh, even just the joy and playfulness that I brought to the table this morning or last night with my son, that's got to be worth something, right? So the very first thing I like to do when I kind of feel like this isn't the life that I want, I ask myself, what is it that I do want, right? What is it that I do want? And then kind of go through the individual things in my life that really, really matter at this point in my life. And not through the eyes of another, not even through the eyes of a parent, of your parent, but as just like what matters to you right now in your life, in this year, in this month. What is truly important? What would make you feel more fulfilled? Oh my goodness. And then when I kind of go through, well, I want to be present and available for my kiddo. Well, I want him to know that he's absolutely loved and adored, right? I want to progress in my relationship. I want to feel like I finally have this relationship where I can just like softly land, right? Where I don't have to put so much effort in all the time, where I feel like it's going to like lose its what is the word for it? It's like such a feeling. It's like I don't want to feel like I'm on the edge all the time of like this in and out and in and out. Is this gonna work? Is it not gonna work? I just want to softly land and know that my partner is there for me and that I'm there for my partner. I feel like more so than anything else, my feelings have been all over the place, going like, is it it? Is it not it? Am I scared? If you've been following my stories a little bit, I'm just about to move in with my boyfriend of 5 years, right? It's been off and on a little bit, but 5 years altogether. However, the last 3 times that I've moved together with a boyfriend, it ended very quickly and very terribly. So my subconscious is like, do you really want to do that? So it's just been a bit tumultuous, and then there's a lot going on for him at the moment. So I feel like so many things are up in the air, and as highly sensitives, we like things to be grounded. We like things to be known. We like things to reveal themselves, and I don't know how you are. I kind of want to have a plan, and I want to know what the future looks like in as accurate a detail as I can, right? So what were we going through? We were going through, what do I go through? I look at those 7 key areas of my life, and I individually ask myself, what is it that I want in this area? How has it been? Where am I right now? And what am I unhappy with, right? How would this need to change? Because so often it's really just a mood. It's really just a vibration that we're in, that we're on, that we're resonating with, that is attracting all these thoughts. And then once you like snap out of that mood and you look back on your life and you're like, this is really not too bad. There are a lot of great things. It is the lens through which you view your current life, right? Oh my gosh. So I like to remind myself of that whenever I kind of get into this negative thinking spiral, and I'm like, it's okay, Christine. You do have your things together. There are a lot of things you have accomplished over the last days, even just this morning, right? I was feeling so bad about like keep on getting my kiddo out the door late. Luckily, our school gives us a long leeway, like an hour window of when we can drop off. But this morning we literally dropped off 2 minutes before they were going to close the door. And it just so happened that they needed to be there a bit earlier today to have a fun class this morning. And I was not aware of that. And I was so down on myself, like, oh my gosh, you messed this up again, just continuing the story of today of like, you're failing. And I very quickly caught myself going, well, what did I do this morning? Well, I mean, I was up at 5:50. I took pretty much a half hour to do some yoga and a little bit of meditating with my kitties in my lap, right? Cuddles with the kitties. I communicated with my boyfriend, who's had a rough few days. I was even WhatsApping with my dad, who's about to come to visit from Germany. So it's like there are some things that I did today, and I made pancakes, almond flour pancakes for my kiddo. And I woke up my kiddo in just the most fun and playful way, and he was just giggling all over the place. And I let him like Gosh, he's so into like bottle flipping right now. So he built this contraption of like a Kleenex box on top of the robot vacuum that he was going to bottle flip. Anyway, we've already had a lot of fun this morning. So it's like, that's gotta count for something, you know? It's not always about everything perfect and everything on point, and life is messy. And that is so hard, particularly for highly sensitives to be okay with, right? Because we already feel so singled out. We already feel so different that we feel like we have to like watch our P's and Q's, that we have to be on point, that we have to put the best foot forward all the time, that we have to show ourselves from our best side all the time, and suppress the sides of us that are not so easily palatable to others. Just this morning, I remember walking into the bathroom going, God, why are you so sensitive? And I stopped and I smiled and I was like, really, Christine? Why are you so sensitive? Duh, you know? But it's like, don't you ever get that feeling of like, why does this bug me so much? I've been working on this. I've been journaling about this. I've been talking to my coach about this. This is like, and this thing or this person is not going to change in my life. So why does it keep on eliciting this reaction, this emotion, this sensitivity from me? And then it's just a matter of like, you know, that original reaction, sure, it might get dampened a little bit, it might change over time, but why do we need it to change? Why do we need it to change? If nothing else, it's showing me that I'm conscious. It's showing me that I'm aware. It's showing me that I'm willing to stop the negative bantering of that part of myself. It just likes to beat up on me, right? It's a good part if it like gets you into emotion, like when it comes to finances of like, yeah, okay, we got to get our stuff together in that term. Let's make some different choices, some different actions. But when it comes to other more delicate parts in your life, don't just let that part beat up on you. Make that conscious choice to shift it. So it is, you know, that initial reaction might not be in your power, but what you do from there always is. So let's loop it back around to our topic today. Thank you, Brenda Bouchard, for your daily growth app, for your, what is it called? I can't even, GrowthDay. There you go. GrowthDay app and the Daily Fire that gave us this topic for today. He called it, it never goes away, right? It really is about that passion, that like, what do I want to do in my life? What is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time? And why haven't I pursued it? Am I overcomplicating what it would take, right? So that was one of the questions I asked myself about the business thing, about the investment that I made a year ago. Am I overcomplicating it? And it ain't over till it's over. I can still pull it together. Can I refocus? Can I see where I've kind of gotten off track? Can I come back to the basics and not overcomplicate it? What is it that I really need? How can I take directed action and get somewhere else? And then the further reaching topic, right? If you're not just like that great passion that you want to pursue, maybe it is just a matter of like wanting a fulfilling life, wanting to feel good in your body, wanting to have that, gosh, that slower pace of life. I was just listening to another audiobook. Whenever I'm driving a long drive, I reward myself, right? That drive down to my family was so long, like 5 or 6 hours. I reward myself with like a romance novel on, you know, as a book on audio. And it was just like, set in this small little beach town. And it's like all this character ever had to do was like, oh, drink coffee here, eat pizza there, get invited for tea here. Oh, I'm making some chocolate pralines. Oh, I'm visiting my friend. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know, walking on the beach. And I'm like, I want to have a slower paced life. And then having a few days off and just like kind of getting into a more gentle, softer, slower rhythm. It's like, that feels so much better? How can I invite more of that into my life? How can I really be aware of those moments when that is possible and calm down my nervous system enough to actually appreciate and enjoy those moments so much? When we have a few moments during the day that are like that, we're so wound up, we can't even appreciate it. We can't even enjoy it. We can't even relax into it, right? So maybe this feeling of like, this thing I really want that I've always wanted is just a slower paced life, an easier going life, a more fulfilling life, a happier state on a daily basis, feeling more fulfilled, feeling deeply loved, feeling incredibly giddy and happy, feeling creative, inspired. What is it? What do you want? And what is the easiest way to it? How can we not overcomplicate it? How can we even just start with saying it is possible for me, and it is possible today, and I can take my first little action step, and maybe that first little action step is just to change my mind, just to change the words that I speak to myself. Whew, that's a lot of emotional stuff for a Thursday morning. Thank you so much for being here with me, for doing this work, for making this world a better place by you journaling about this, by you learning about this, by you listening to this, by you taking the action in order to make your life easier, happier, slower, because that way it radiates. That way you are allowing everyone else to do the same. Yes? All right. Have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow.